Now, the second reason why this break is hard is because of William Sleemaker. His stepdaughter, Yvette Martinez, she has been missing since September 17th, 2004. She disappeared just a few blocks away from our U.S. border. Two years ago, I made her father a promise that I would not let this story die. However, I had to break that promise because I am now working at a network that will follow through on a story. I am not a journalist. I'm just a guy who cares. I'm sorry. I'm just a guy who cares an awful lot about my country. And I think you do too. But sometimes, for political reasons or whatever reasons, people just won't follow a story. This story is exceptionally hard to follow because the people who are down near this story are getting killed if they talk to people like me. And welcome to the program, Bill Sleemaker. Bill, how are you, sir?
Doing good, Glenn. How about yourself?
I'm good.
Glad to be here.
I apologize, sir, that it has taken us this long, but I am now with a network, sir, that will follow through and devote some resources to find out if there is anyone in our government that will help you and your family. I will tell you, the American people are with you, especially if they haven't heard the story of your daughter. They will be in about 45 seconds. Could you please explain what happened to your daughter?
Well, my daughter and a friend of hers went into Mexico to a concert and basically never made it back home. They didn't make it back home.
She called you on the way back home and she said, I'm about there. And then she just disappeared and nobody would talk. You went over the border about 100 times looking for her or for her car. I believe the 30th time, if I remember the story right, you found her car. What is it that you believe happened to your daughter, and why do you believe that?
Well, Glenn, in all honesty, I don't really know what happened or why. One thing I do know is that she was pulled over by a municipal police officer, and from the information that I've received is that she was given as a gift to the leaders of these cartels. For what reason, I don't have any clue. I can tell you is that it's been very painful for us, and we're hoping to find her. And like my story, there's thousands of them out there where Americans and Mexican nationals are missing today as we sit here and talk about it, and nothing's being done about it.
Right. Your daughter was an American citizen. How old was she when she was kidnapped?
27 years old.
27 years old. The response that you have received from government officials is that, well, these kidnappings involve drugs and, you know, I'm sorry, but your daughter was involved in nefarious things, etc., etc. That's what parents usually hear. There are 75 Americans that are still missing, and you're just stonewalled, if I'm not mistaken, or told that, well, you just didn't know your daughter, I guess. What were you told?
Well, first and foremost, I did know my daughter, and my daughter was not involved in drugs. She went to a concert. You know, it's a great misconception to believe that they were involved in drugs, and this only happens to people involved in drugs. Unfortunately, I feel that that's the way our government gets away with brushing it under the table. And it's just a way, I guess, for them to explain their lack of doing their job.
The officer that helped you find her car in Mexico, there were two, I believe. There was one that you knew pulled her over, but then I understand there was a female Mexican police officer, and she has been killed since she talked to you.
Well, they were not friends of mine. What happened was, during my own investigation, I went into Mexico every single day, just about for the first 30 days. And while putting up posters one time, I received information about somebody seeing them being pulled over at that certain intersection by a municipal police officer. It was when I found my daughter's car and saw documentation that it had been signed by a female police officer whom I believe has been killed today.
Yeah.
Or not actually today, but since finding her car. But all this information I obtained through my own investigations, going over there, putting my own life at risk.
Bill, we are going to we're going to contact the State Department. We're going to start with the State Department, then we're going to go to the FBI, then we're going to go to Rick Perry, and we'll go to the President after that. Then we're going to go to the Senators and the Representatives. And I can finally tell you, sir, that I am not fighting alone, and I have not just my staff, but an entire network behind us that will not let this rest. There are a lot of Americans that are missing on the border, and a lot of horrible, horrible things that are going on that nobody is aware of in America. And it is a real blessing for me to be able to tell you, sir, that the cavalry has arrived. Fox is here, and we'll do everything we can. And we'll have you back, sir, and God bless.
Glenn, thank you and everybody at Fox, and I appreciate it, and I hope to be back soon.
You bet. We'll be back.